Anybody coming in, please give me a sound check. Let me know you can hear me okay. Is that you, Sloth? I guess this delay in the time that you guys can hear me from the time I actually talk is a little bit longer. I'm gonna have to try to find a different platform to where it's almost actually live. Because this delay sucks. Because if I ask you guys a question or whatever, I gotta wait like 15 seconds for someone to respond. Um, it's really hard to say. There's been some really strange trading action going on with Bitcoin today. It's been stuck in a very, very tight range. So let's go ahead and get started. I know this isn't the most opportune time for everybody to get online and whatnot. I know most everybody's on the other side of the world and it's like 3 a.m. for them. Alright, so let's check out some notes that we had from this morning here. So let's look at some Bitcoin. Okay, so it was noted on this first support here that dropped this morning to that 9,900 range, and I noted that if this support resistance flip doesn't hold, there's another smaller one just below it at 9,800, and it looks like we wicked that quite perfectly on those on the last 3 hours right there. Three perfect hits right there. So that is currently holding that support. However, I don't like some of these other time frames. There's a whole lot of mixed signals. And we got about 15 minutes left in this candle and the daily candle, which should give us a little bit more, I guess, view of where we might be heading. So I noted this was a cause of concern right here. On this last 4 hour candle, I see we have a new one now, and we're about 15 minutes left into it too. How we were rejecting here off of the 20-day moving average. And it looked like the 7-day moving average got a big drop on it as well, but you can see now it's fighting. See that MACD popping in and out, light green and dark green? So it's fighting now to get that push up, and you can still see the 7-day moving average there, which is that green line. Let me go ahead and delete this. This green line right here is now trying to cross over the 20-day moving average, which would be a bullish signal. And you see we still have a little bit of a bull cross here on the 6 hour. However, it looks a little weak. OBV kind of just dropped a little bit on this dump candle right here. So it's still just a little early to tell. We still got 13 minutes left in this candle. But it's been, I mean, even going back to the hourly here, it has been a very, very strange day for Bitcoin. I mean, this was all last night with no break here over the 100-day moving average. I mean, this was pretty well dead last night, just flat. And then we got that drop this morning, and then pretty much all morning we hung, or all day mostly, we hung right here in this range between 9,900 and about 1,000 or so. So there's still a lot of mixed signals, and there you go. See, it's trying to fight back down now. You see the bear's trying to push that candle down. I mean, this is just really, I mean, there is a fight. And I'm not sure who's going to win this one because it is just crazy. But again, what we saw the last few nights in a row was right at the candle, the daily close, or about 15 minutes before, they dumped it. So this was last night, I think, at the close. Is that the 23rd? See, this is the 23rd. Here's the 24th. So this was 2 days ago at the close. This was last night at the close, and here we are trying to watch the close today. Now again, note we also are under the 100-day moving average here on the 15-minute. Although it's not that significant, you can see the weakness showing up really prevalent right here. Okay, see, look at the RSI rounding down. Look at your OBV rejecting the cross bull. I mean, the bears are fighting hard to drop this thing. And the bulls are fighting hard to keep it up. So I'm not sold on this yet either. This looks like it could get it could catch a small up or something and then consolidate and move back down, or it could move back up too. So there's a lot of indecision on these time frames here. This is looking a lot nastier here on 30-minute and 15 minutes. So this looks like they're about to dump the shit out of this again. Okay, now I see. Drop that candle right there, and drop the MACD right there. So it's kind of really hard to give a good clear, hey Javi, it's a little right now difficult to give a clear signal on where this is heading. This looks bad here on the 3-hour. Look at the 7-day cresting right there. So there's still a whole lot of mixed signals. However, look at your OBV right here. Your OBV is trending up. Now, I've gotten a lot of questions on Twitter, why do I use the OBV without volume? Well, OBV gives a clearer signal or a clearer picture of the trend movement with buying and selling pressure coming in and out of the coin rather than just showing what the volume is. So when you see it trending up, this means that buys are coming in. So it's a little bit better, in my opinion, than just relying on your volume candles. Because here you can see these volume candles are relatively flat, relatively the same amount of sales and buys. But you can see how the OBV is trending up, showing that the buying pressure is coming in. Money is flowing in, even though you got some pretty big sell candles up here on the volume. So this is why I don't rely too much on volume as opposed to OBV. Because, here you obviously see your big buy candles here with the volume, or big volume candles here that got this pump up. But then you see the OBV dropping, and about the time that, it's starting to cross negative here is when you see the price start to reject and dump. But you don't see it right here. So it doesn't tell you, the volume does not tell you a shift or a trend in direction, but the OBV does. Because, like I said here, you see it drop right here, and there's a dump right here, and also up here at this crest and rounded out and started dropping, and then the price follows it. But it doesn't, you don't see that in the volume. So that's why I like OBV more than I do volume. It's a really great tool. And this is really helpful when this crosses red and green. And this is exclusive to our members also. So really good indicator right there to use while trading. So let's shelve this for a minute because we still got some time. Shit, that looks like it's gonna drop. Look at the 2-hour rejection there. That's okay. See right there, rejected right at the tip of the 7-day moving average right there, and crested and curled down. Look at the MACD about to go under, and again, look at your OBV fighting, showing it doesn't really know what it's going to do. You can also throw a trend line on OBV as well. Touch, 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 touch. So we could see the OBV touch it again and either push up or reject also. Heck of a fight going on right now. So we'll come back to this. Um, let me open this on mobile though, so I can see how, as we're going through the live stream, if there's like a dump about to happen, we can flip back and catch it. But it's not looking good for the Bulls right now. Just gonna be honest. But again, when you start zooming out to these higher time frames, this could easily just as well turn and dump too, because this is a pretty bearish candle, and that is on the verge of both crossing and also flopping down. That's why there's a lot of mixed signals. But overall on Bitcoin, let me delete all those. Our overall trend is down. So if we do get a bull push, I do fully expect us to stay underneath the 7-day moving average here. I do not see this at all going past 10.8, which is still kind of a long shot. The most I see really is at the bottom of these candles to about 10.3 or so. Somewhere maybe in the top, 10.4 or 5 at most. But I don't see this going 10.8 if there is a chance of a bull push. But again, look at your 5-day MACD. And I pointed this out on Twitter when looking at the 4-day. And everybody mocked me and laughed and said, I'm crazy. We're not going down. We're going to 20K. Blah, blah, blah. And now we're looking at the 5-day at the exact same point that just crossed bear. So when I was going to 4-day and I showed everybody this, we were right here. And everybody was still screaming 20K right here after a single bearish histogram drop in an overextended MACD. Now again, overextension is this distance between your histogram candles and your MACD lines. I'm pretty sure I coined that term. I don't think it's actual real term, but I coined it, so it's mine. But yes, so there is an overextension. Your histograms were weakening, and then you see the bear cross blue under orange. And now we're seeing it here on the 5-day. Look at your histograms. Very weak, and we just crossed and got the first hint of some bearish push down. So that means within this 5-day candle, there's still room to kind of push up to that 10.3 or so, or just continue rejecting. And I would expect the next target to probably double bottom right here at this wick at about 9100-ish. Lots going on. Lots going on. Okay, let's move on. Let's because I know we're haven't been talking about altcoins a whole lot because our focus has been on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin's God. All that wonderful mess. So dominance for Bitcoin. Here we see it crested. It hung up here for quite a good while. I mean, this is almost 2 weeks right here probably that we hung up here in the 68 to 70 range. You can see we double topped on these wicks right there. See these tweezer tops here matching this wick over here right at about 70 dominance where we were hoping and expecting it to drop. And you can read the dominance chart all the same that you can any other chart. So for any newbies, what this chart represents, this is the market cap Bitcoin dominance. So this is the dominance that Bitcoin holds over altcoins. So that the higher this goes, altcoins bleed. So this is what we want to see. We want to see this come down, and that'll give altcoins the buying pressure and the strength to see an alt season. And it looks like we are about to get into the start of it. I think we're still right on track to see a repeat of August of last year. Okay, so same notes that we can with any chart. 7-day moving average crested. You see it rounding out. So this rounding out up here is like a crest. Just like a wave in the ocean. When it crests, it falls. So we're starting to see that here. See the rejection right here. Okay, so these are 2-day candles. So we got 4 days holding underneath the 7-day moving average right there is resistance. You see the MACD. Here's the overextension. We're looking at a cross. This cross bear, by the way. And you see the histogram getting weak. Okay, RSI. Look at our RSI hitting the shitter. You can throw a trend line on that, and I'd say once we might test this trend line, get a small pop up, and then once we break it. So we are going to catch a bounce on Bitcoin at some point, and when we do, it'll likely push the dominance up. So I want to see something like that for dominance, and then once we break that trend line, I would say we're pretty well in alt season. And then again, as I mentioned, OBV going negative on dominance. So these are all very, very good signs for altcoins. Now again, this is a 2-day chart, so each of these candles is 2 days. So this means that we're going probably well into the middle of August, probably, by the time we reach this lower 60s mark. And this is where I expect to see a bit of a bounce right here in dominance. So I want to see dominance drop below 60 right here. And this is where I've noted, this is where I'm going to start scaling into altcoins pretty heavily. And then same notes for 3-day here. So you can see all the weakening indicators. Look at the RSI rounding out and topped out, very high, dropping down. See the MACD curling over, rounding out, dropping down. And you see, I guess you can say price action on dominance as well as the 7-day moving average, also rounding out the drop down. So we're almost there for altcoins. Another 3-4 weeks, maybe mid-August, late August. We should be testing this line right here in the lower 60s. Then I think I made a note. Let me see. I think I shared this once. Okay, so when we hit this area, alts should see about 30-40% pops. Once we get to about here, in this area down into the 50s, low 50s, we'll start seeing our normal 150-200% pops. And then anything into the 40s. So once we get sub 50, I want to say once we break this line right here, once we break this line right here and we get down here for dominance, this is where alts are going to go absolutely apeshit, like 2017 when everything was moon and Lambo and puppies and unicorns and all that stuff. So this is when, you can see it here. See, this is December 17th. So and I think December was roughly when altcoins were going absolutely nuts. And this broke right here, sub 50. So when we see 50% dominance, so this was December, and then all this is January and February. So right around here is where Bitcoin dropped from 20,000, and you see dominance just shoot up. So once we break below here and we start to get down even further into dominance, this is where altcoins are going to break from Bitcoin, and altcoins are going to get really, really, really fun. Okay, so this is the altcoin market cap. How we just looked at altcoin dominance. So how this is Bitcoin dominance over alts. We should see the inverse relationship here. This is altcoin dominance over Bitcoin. So just as any chart, you can see altcoins, their dominance have hit this support here, and you see all the same indicators that we would normally see. Right here, our MACD is going up, our RSI is curling up, and we've held this support. So now what we want to see is we want to see altcoin dominance increase. So what this means is the opposite of this chart. So as altcoin dominance goes up, basically to put it blunt, altcoins play and altcoins moon and all of that stuff. So we want to see this chart go up. So I mean, there's really nothing to chart or plot because there's no target, because this isn't anything that we buy. This is just a gauge of strength in the market for altcoins. Okay, so this chart here, I went ahead and pulled this one up. This is altcoin market cap. So this is also very, very critical. So again, as with this chart here, when Bitcoin dominance broke below 50 and alts were mooning, again, this was December 2017. Look at altcoin market cap. So this right here is, again, here's December of 2017. So this was basically all the money in crypto flowing into alts and pumping them like crazy. So this is what we want to see here. So again, here is a very nice support hold. You can see some confluence right here, banking off of an old previous support here, and we kind of wicked this zone pretty nicely, and now we're starting to see this curl up. So we want to see this curl up as well, because this is an indication that money is flowing into altcoins. So the greater this number means this is market cap dominance for all of the altcoins. So it looks like I don't even know what kind of number that is right there. That's too many missed commas that they didn't place. So this is just a gauge of money flowing into altcoins. So the higher this chart is, that means money is in altcoins and not Bitcoin, and we'll see altcoins moon. But even still, we can really still technically use it as a gauge as well. So it'll have supports and resistances as well. So here's going to be our first test of resistance for altcoins. So if we are playing alts and we see alts start to move, we can keep an eye on this chart. And then once we come up and hit this zone right here, and if we see a rejection, that means money is flowing back out of alts. So we'll know to get out of alts when we see a rejection right here. And same for here. So I would expect to test this resistance first. So altcoin market cap at 44 is going to be pretty nice. We'll see some nice pumps in alts. And then if we come up and see the market cap or dominance of alts reject here, then this will be a signal to scale out of alts or get out of them completely. Not scale out, just get out. So as we are gearing up for altcoins, this chart is going to be important, as well as this one, of course, and these. So we're going to keep close eyes on all three of these as we load up alt season. Okay, so let's get into a few alts. A few alt calls that we have currently that look really good. Icon being the first one, because I think, as Noza pointed out, interpolarity coins, or whatever that term is, are going to be doing really well, as especially with these coins having staking coming up next month. So Icon and Wanchain and I think Aeon, you'll be able to stake them. So you buy them. You can stake them in a wallet and just let them sit there and ride, and you basically earn the equivalent of dividends. So basically, you're just getting free coins, which is free money by staking. Okay, so I know I had this called in the call channel, and it's already been charted and everything. Uh-oh, Bitcoin's dropping. Goodbye. Crap, that makes me want to go back to Bitcoin now and watch, because this is getting rough. 2 hour right here is going to cross under. So this is going to get rough for Bitcoin here soon, it looks like. So let's hurry up and get done with this. Okay, so as noted, lots of signals already right here. Very nice trend line. Bring this one down just a wee bit there. Very nice trend line support there off of that wick, hitting that group of candles right there, and it kind of slices through them a little bit right there, but that's okay. Nobody's going to hold you to it to where you can't cross other candles as long as they match up all the way through. So it's a very good, clean trend line. You can see the same for the top up here. And this is what we had charted this morning. My mouse is not working right. It's kind of glitching on me. Okay, looks like we're on a new 2-day candle too. You can barely see it right there. Okay, so Icon so far has all of the right signals for a pump. You can see the accumulation zone right here. This is a great pattern right here for accumulation. This goes back all the way to June. So pretty much all of July has been in accumulation for Icon. So I think I stated quite a few times right here at about 300 Satoshi is going to be the breakout point. And by the breakout point, if we zoomed into the daily here, okay, so you see this wick right here topping off to match these two wicks, and then these two wicks over here. So this whole little part here is what's holding Icon down. So once we get above 300, then it's go time. Icon would be in a good reversal, and then we'll start plotting down some other short-term resistances. We could play off a 4-hour chart here. For example, I would expect it to, once it breaks this, it may come back down and retest just a little bit. But once it breaks that, come up and retest this previous candle wick, come down, and then use this resistance now as support. And don't tell Satoshi that I just did an Elliott wave. So it's really kind of hard to say whether if it's going to do that, because if you look here at the 3-day, this is a very strong 3-day push. So I would bet on testing up here in this first cluster for resistance. Now this is a swing trade target, so please don't expect this overnight or in like 1 to 2 days, but this does have really great potential. Even just to get to 400 to 500 Satoshi is about 65 to 80% profit. So no doubt when we reach this zone, there will be a rejection because this is a previous broken support zone. And you also see a nice cluster of candles right there. This is probably like 2 weeks or so of sitting right here in this zone, since we are on a 3-day chart. Never mind, that's almost 40 days right there. So this is no doubt going to be a target zone. So if you're swing trading this, let it ride a week. Just let it come up here. Get all of that profit that you can rather than trying to scalp on the low time frames, and then watch it come down and then continue on moving. Bullish looks very, very good. Noted here in the calls this morning. Look at that MACD. That's a beautiful MACD. That is just crossing bull right there. Now again, this is not going to do this tomorrow or next week. It can go well into August. You could be holding this for 3 weeks to reach this zone. So if you're a swing trader, this is certainly your swing zone. Looks really, really great. And then for the scalpers that want to play all of the smaller waves and just kind of ride it up or whatever, we can keep a close eye on it too. But ICX certainly is poised for a breakout and a reversal. It looks really good there. Wanchain is another one that was a call. And another one that has staking coming next month as well. So, I mean, this almost looks just like Icon here. And this trend line right here is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at the respect of this trend line all the way down. And I think I said several weeks ago that I had a bag and then I got a small scalp up here, somewhere in this zone. Because I think I bought like 270s or 280s or whatever and then scalped up to like 320 or something. And then just forgot about rebuying it. But I think I mentioned I was going to wait for about 220s and I missed it. I wasn't paying attention. Because the 220s would have been an absolute great snag and it would have been the bottom, as WAN is already up roughly about 30% from that target. So already a great start. So just like ICX, just like Icon, WAN is poised to do a very nice move. Looks great. This stupid mouse. Okay, so this is 2-day. So here we are. We're already bullish on our OBV, RSI. Look at that. Got already starting the uptrend. MACD's already starting the uptrend. Let's zoom out just a wee bit more. 3-day, you can see the bull cross there. RSI is obviously back into some good trading zone. You see the OBV inching up. There's a bullish histogram. And you see price action right there. Already rounding out, testing the top of this trend line, poised for the breakout. So once again, like ICX, we can zoom in. And here is our breakout zone right here. Once we get to about 350, might see a small pullback there. So I'm not too certain yet. But you see the tops of all of these candles and wicks right here that have pretty well held this whole price accumulation down as resistance. And for the swing trade, this is our zone up here. And if you're playing on DCX exchange with 4x leverage and you're in any of these, there is a liquidation price, even though it's like 20% drop from where you bought in, so it's a lot of room. But if you're playing DCX, I would recommend swing trading, because let's say if you just bought WAN here at 308 and you rode it up to this zone here, let's say you got, I don't know, 550, 575 or so for 83% profit. That's an 83% move on WAN, but if you're in DCX, that's 120 or 130% move or something in that same period. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. That's 4 times 83%. Damn, my math is wrong. So that's almost 250% profit right there. If you brought this down, let's say 520. I mean, those are some pretty sick gains right there. So if you're in DCX and using DCX for these altcoins, I would recommend just swing trading them up to these targets, as you'll maximize and you'll be sure that you maximize your profit. And as price increases and you try to scalp it up here and then you get a bad entry on a pullback, and then it drops more, well, then you risk being liquidated. So if you're in any of these coins, ICX, WAN, or any others, and you're in at a good bottom price, just write them up. Just let them roll for a few weeks or so till they hit some of these upper targets. I mean, that's fine. You're actually in WAN, but if you want to add more, you will wait for the retest of that breakout. Well, yeah, well, that depends. So let's say we zoom in here to the 8-hour. So this is a pretty parabolic 8-hour move here. You can look at the MACD here, look at the RSI, and then look at the price action. So I would expect, and let's look like it's already doing it, I would expect a possible rejection in short term here. So it may come up and maybe wick just outside of this trend line to hit somewhere up in this zone, and then possibly pull back, down here to 300 or maybe even 280s before pushing back up. Let's see what, let's go 4 hours. Try to get a medium time frame. Okay, so here you could see, this MACD needs a reset. There's no doubt this needs a reset. And this is you're already seeing the weakness in the price action right there. Now again, this is a lower time frame, so if you're looking for an entry, you zoom in, no doubt. And look right here. Okay, so this wick, tops of these candles, bottoms of these candles, tops of these candles, and then these bottoms here. So this is a resistance zone that it's struggling to get a close above. So any more weakness right here in the MACD and the price, and the RSI rather, then I would expect a pullback. And I would expect that pullback to probably come to about 275 for a support resistance flip. So you can possibly expect the rejection here if it fails here. Only if it fails here. You might grab a snag down here about 275, and then it could push back up. Holy shit. Bitcoin, thanks, Sloth. I wasn't paying attention. I know we were going to wait for the candle close. So already, thank you, live stream. This is a 2% drop. So this is 50% profits had I been in a short. But I chose to do a live stream with you guys instead because I love you. So this is about $3,500 of profit that I'm not in because I'm doing this live stream. But that's okay. Always another opportunity. So real quick for Bitcoin. Okay, so here's our support zone that we have to watch hold. Back here for a double bottom back at 95, because you can see these candle bottom clusters here matching these over here. So this is held as support right here and right here. So we have to watch to see if this is going to hold as support again. Otherwise, our next area of support is down here somewhere between 92, 91, somewhere like that. So very, very critical there to, and it looks like we may catch a double bottom because this is just getting a short-term reset, and you already see the RSI right here at 34. So once it kind of goes below this zone, depending on how big of a dump this is, so this very well come down, and it could double bottom there and grind back up and then something to that nature or whatever. So then that's when we can start zooming back out to higher time frames for some more clarity. Look at that. That MACD did not cross. It touched and dropped. Yeah, this is not good for Bitcoin. Okay, 7-day moving average right here, the green line, in a deep down drop. And right here is the 200-day moving average. So this is 200-day moving average is a pretty significant and pretty heavy moving average. And it looks like we're about to lose it. So if we lose it, we're definitely going to retest this zone right here, which looks very well likely. Again, okay, and we just keep zooming out to see our overall trend. Are we on the? Yes, we are on the new daily candle now. So any further of a drop, if we get down into the bottom of this green zone, I bet you it's going to turn this a darker red. Still the same 3-day candle. Okay, so this looks like a new 2-day candle right here. Yes, it is, because we were just at 9.8 up here at the 980s when we started this live stream on the hourly. So this is a new 2-day candle, and it's still dropping. This is not showing any strength whatsoever. So I would bank on this being our next target support right there at 9,000. I would expect a double bottom there. Yeah, this is ugly. Okay, so if you're in a short, mucho congratsos. You're probably banking pretty good right there. I'm glad I called this in time in the Bitcoin channel. I think it was off of this 4 hour right here. Yeah, when I posted that this was failing to break right here above the 20-day moving average, it did not look pretty. And to be careful of this. And right now we're seeing why. So you can kind of see how the relationship of price action against moving averages. If there's a failure to break above a moving average, it's not good. Okay, let's finish off WAN. Okay, so yes, still the same with WAN. This looks to be losing some strength. This looks a little bit weak. So if you're looking to add, I would probably try to bag somewhere down here around 270, 275. Okay, Zilliqa. Zill is another one that looks really good on these higher time frames. Got a nice, good, rounded out chart. So I'm showing some strength today, and I think it just got some loading. And then I noticed right here on this 3-day, look at this bull cross incoming right here. Just as I've shown you guys, bull cross, histogram getting smaller and shorter. So this is signaling that there's going to be a trend reversal on Zill. So Zill looks really good. RSI is curling up. OBV is curling up. Price action has bottomed and has found some support. There's a big gap right here between resistance zones too. I mean, this is a monster gap. Holy crap. So I would certainly, as far as swing targets go, I would certainly bank on this zone up here being tested. I don't even want to go all the way up here. But this is a big gap right there. That is 120% profit potential. So again, if anybody is in DCX, if you swing traded this up to this zone right here, this would be over 400% profit. 4x just swing trading this up here, because this is already starting to put in the right pattern, right signal. Again, this is a 3-day chart, so I would expect this to take, a month or two to get up here. Now I know DCX only has 30 days before they automatically close your contract out, but you can still play some of the smaller resistance zones, smaller gaps. So let's look at where those are. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so I would bet somewhere probably right there would be our first test of resistance around 120, 121, somewhere up in here. I'd probably even go as far as no. Let's stick with right there. Let's be conservative there, because you got candle bottom here and candle bottom here and the top right there. So that looks pretty good there. Now again, this is swing trading right here. Okay, this is not. Let's just buy and hope for the moon tomorrow. And then you got another cluster of resistance right here. So if I was trading this, I'd sell up here, rebuy back down here, and then swing it up to that zone. Oops, I deleted my arrow. Okay, so you don't see this first resistance zone too much right here on the 3-day, because it's just a small cluster of candles. This is a big cluster that looks very delicious as far as a swing target. Okay, so zooming back in, this is what I would play as a setup. I'm just gonna, you could probably even say we're gonna test 120, fall back to about 110, and then push up there. But since I like to swing trade, I wouldn't even worry about this small resistance zone right there either. I would just swing it up to that first target right there, this first target box zone. This is a good place to see a rejection, probably right around 150. So make sure that you're out about 145-ish or so, 140 to 145-ish, because it will pull back. It will pull back from here. So let's say you bought in here. That looks good. About a 30% pop pullback, and then you probably rebuy right there, and then swing it up for about 100%. So ZIL looks really good too. I like ZIL. Let's check 4-day. 4-day's got all the right signals too. You see the same MACD round up there, inching across bullish, RSI curling up, OBV curling up. Nice strong candle. But again, this is going to be a swing trade, so I would expect to reach this zone probably somewhere around August, and then probably pull back in late August, September or something, and then probably, I don't know, maybe by December, see that upper target or something. Really depends on what kind of buying pressure we get on alts over the next few months. So it looks really good. ZIL is going to be a great play. This looks pretty well bottomed right here, so we'll play this as it develops. And then, of course, there's DOC. Let me check Bitcoin real quick. Still dropping. Damn. All right, I hope you guys love me. That's 2.5% drop. That's about 60% I'm missing out on right there. That's about $4 grand or something that I'm playing with in my scalp account. Missing $4 grand for a live stream. I love you guys. Okay, DOC, I mean, really no different than any of the other alts. They all are pretty well looking the same. Falling wedge deep into the apex. You can see the consolidation right there. Here comes the 3-day bull cross, and there it is. There's a 3-day bull cross right there. So this is showing signals and signs of a reversal. You can see your RSI right here. Look at it curling up. And your OBV. Okay, see how it's making a higher low. So it's inching and creeping up. And again, all these altcoins are going to look the same. So, I mean, this really doesn't surprise me that they're all probably likely going to pop at the same time. So I want to see a retest of about 120 and then watch it maybe pull back to about 100. And then you got some nice upper targets up here. Now, fundamentally, what I really like about DOC is they're moving to Polkadot platform. Now, I don't know too much about the Polkadot platform, but from what I hear, they've got some serious VC backing and are heavily shielded. There's another trend line that you could throw on DOC right there. Bottoms of these candles match that wick perfectly, which match the bottoms of this accumulation pattern right here. So this looks like a bottom for DOC. And the other thing that I liked a lot about DOC is this is August of last year when it was first listed on Binance. And from the bottom here, from Binance, it's only dropped about 50%, whereas most other alts, well, let's go to Icon, for example. Where's August? Let's see, this is September. All right, so here's August of last year, where most alts have dropped about 70 to 80% from their lows last year. So DOC has fallen maybe 55, 50, 60%. So it hasn't really seen too bad of a drop. So this almost, when zooming out and looking at this structure, this almost kind of looks like Ren. So I like Doc here for a swing trade. And again, got some great potential, great 100% profit up here potential. Unless you're on DCX, this zone up here to the top, would be 400% profit with a 4x leverage on it. So good potential either way. So again, if I was swinging this for a nice long-term swing it up here and hit this zone, and then watch it probably fall back, and then we'll start to make the next move up, something to that nature. Hold on, Bitcoin. Don't start dumping too hard yet. Let me grab a bag here in a little bit and short you. Okay, AGI, you said? Wow, AGI looks great. This is a nice big first pump right here. What is this, like 60% from the bottom? 100. Whoa. When did this happen? How did we miss this? Okay, so this was from the 18th. So this is a week ago. In a week, AGI went 113% and nobody paid attention. Well, I can see why nobody paid attention. So AGI here, and this is why nobody paid attention, because this was a very slow yet steady growth up to this point where it just went parabolic. So in that day, I mean, that was still a big push, but during all of this slow chop, slow grind up, nobody paid attention to it. Four-hour chart, you say? Okay, so here's what happened on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, Nano looks great too. I think we called Nano as well. Okay, so this was the breakout point for, well, I guess you can say this was a local resistance here. And this, you see the accumulation, sideways movement, buying pressure and accumulation. And then you see the break from the small local resistance, and then broke up, and look where it wicked up there. Almost to that wick there. And then the fallback, and this is a support resistance flip here. So watch this to do probably something like this, and then fall back again. So I would watch to see it test up here close to 400 again, because this isn't reset right here, so this isn't going to hold. This has to come down to finish resetting, but it's a good support resistance flip right here. So I would expect to get another push up to about 375, 380, 390. Watch for rejection or something, and then watch it likely fall back, and then now consolidate here in this zone to hold over the support resistance zone right there. So overall, it looks pretty good, although this 8-hour does not look good. That looks like it wants to just crap on something. What's the moving average look like? Yeah, moving average doesn't look great either. So there's an off chance of a quick flash crash. I'm going to delete that there. Down here. So since the 7-day here, and this is a a relatively high time frame, 8 hours, a good time frame. And since the 7-day, which is the green line, broke above this 100-day moving average, you can expect to stay above the 100-day. So anytime on a high time frame, when you see your 7-day moving average break above your 100-day moving average, it'll likely stay above that moving average, but may possibly test it as a support. And you can see where the 100-day moving average is right there, which happens to be at the bottom of this candle, of this confluence zone right here. So your 100-day moving average lines up with the bottom of these candles as a support. So I would play that. If this breaks right here at, what is this, 320? If this breaks at 320, have your stop loss, and then set your rebuy down here at about 285 to maybe even 300, and save you about 8 to 12% right there. What is that drop? Okay, so that's 15% down to that drop, and to about 300 is about 9 or 10%. So that's a good place to set a stop loss right there upon breaking that support resistance, and then catching a rebuy right there if this breaks though. So that's very important, because this very well could just kind of range right here and hold before pushing up. But overall, on a bigger scale, I mean, it looks great. Yeah, this looks like a pretty good uptrend right here. So I would watch on the next 4-day candle. I don't know when it is. So look at your 7-day rounding out right there. So your price action on your next 4-day candle is probably going to catch the 7-day moving average and stay above it, and then push for the next target. And I would definitely expect resistance to stay right here under this, because I bet this is going to come down as your price moves up and reject there, and then damn it. So for a swing target, definitely want to catch your weekly resistance right there. Tops of candles match the bottoms of these candles, so this would certainly be your next target on a swing though. But I would not expect another push probably for the next 5 days or so. Ooh, look at that 2-day. About to cross the 20 right there. That's pretty. I haven't quite... oh, we did start a new 2-day candle, didn't we? Yeah, we did just look at that. Yeah, right there. You can barely see it. It's just a little smidge right now. But yeah, this is a new 2-day candle, and the 7-day is in an uptrend to test the 20-day moving average right there. So we want to watch those moving averages cross. You want to see the green get above the blue to signal that uptrend. So AGI looks pretty nice. Actually, I probably wouldn't expect it to move for the next week or two, because look what your 7-day is right here. It's hidden right behind this candle. So this is definitely likely just going to kind of round out, consolidate before pushing up. So you may have some more opportunities, but you can certainly scalp it on the lower time frames. So if we turn our moving averages off and we just look at price action. So again, this is your first support resistance flip. So I would be watching this zone right here to hold. And if it doesn't, this is your next buy zone right there. Somewhere about 280. So watch this to hold. If this doesn't hold, here's your buy zone. Oops. All right, whatever. Change that pink. And if this does hold, you could catch a small up, and then it'll fall right back down. So you can, if this holds this support zone, and you catch us another small push up, 370, 375 max, and get out, and then you can rebuy all that profit back down again. Bitcoin, what are you doing? Sorry, I just want to check to see what the corn is doing. Okay, so again, using the relationship of the moving averages. So yes, we are testing this support zone again. You can see right there at this wick, follow this dashed line across, and we are catching these bottoms again right here on these wicks. But your relationship of your moving averages is the 7-day is now below the 200-day moving average, which is the gray line. So your downtrend is still in effect. I don't see this ending well for the bear or for the bulls, especially with the 2-day going under like that. So in order for us to stay here above 9,500, lower time frames have to push this up into a wick, probably back to about 9,800 or so by the next candle, and then the next candle can slowly glide it back down. Now, as far as your MACD goes, same story. So we're already crossing bear, maybe a short reset, and then catch another small up to consolidate. So be on watch for that support zone to hold. If this were to break at 95, I mean, there's nothing here to catch it. So we're most likely going down to 91, 92. So that's all I got, guys. I mean, our downtrend for Bitcoin is still very well intact. I can't wait. I know it's probably unprofessional, but I don't care. I can't wait to start trolling some of these large accounts who, still kept screaming, "Oh, we're going to 20K, we're going to 20K." Yeah, no, not going to happen, buddy. I'm trying to find one here. Like this guy. I don't know who this Kaleo guy is here, but this is ridiculous. You can't possibly consider this a fractal in relation to this and then just copy something from down here and then paste it up here. Because this drop right here looks like this right here maybe or something. I don't know, but I mean, to call this and just copy it there as a fractal, bruh, killing me. Then there's this, and then, just copying candle structures from somewhere else and trying to match them up. And, I mean, we've already broke all of this. Oh, sad. Sad, sad. Because actually, technically, we didn't break the downtrend. Either way that you throw a trend line on that, either from this top that cuts across this top and this top and this top, or straight from the top to the top to the top to the top, we didn't break any of those trend lines. We rejected at both of them right here at the same point, and we're still holding under. So sorry, bulls. I just don't see anything that says that we're going to your absurd targets of 20K again. Okay, so with the drop that we got on this candle, you can see it just a little bit bigger now on the histogram. So it's really confirming, and then there's the drop right there. You see that drop candle. So it's really confirming that the downtrend is still very much intact, and we won't catch a decent bounce at all, a good bounce, likely until we come down here and test into the 7600s. I know we were kind of calling the mid 800s. I would be watching for right here off the top at about 8,200. I would watch to get some front run, meaning whales come in and start buying it up while everybody's waiting for a couple $100 lower to try to catch the bottom. whales might start front running it and start pumping it right here in the 800s. But we're still very much in the downtrend to test this zone. We might catch a push up, and then we're probably going to fall right back down. And I say that because, again, look at the overextension of the MACD here, and we just crossed under. There is no way in hell this is just going to get this small down here, and then we're just going to keep pumping all the way up to 30K, and the MACD is just going to keep going up. It doesn't happen like that. I don't care what anybody says. Then again, at weekly, look at the weekly rounding out, and look at the RSI. Look at your OBV, all in a downtrend. So we're going to test this zone. We're going to catch a small push up, and then we're likely, probably actually going to come back down to 6,000s for a reset. Don't troll me, don't at me, but I can see something like this. MACD is going to come down for a reset, maybe catch another up, and then grind out. So if that were to play, I mean, this is a very, very ugly weekly. So if that were to play out, it's going to do this, up, and then we're just going to grind out. Oops, maybe not that. Well, yeah, maybe about that low. Maybe all the way back down to the 2,000 range or something. Going well into 2021 before we really start to catch a legit bull run. Because if you think about it fundamentally, there is nothing right now to cause this to just keep going up. I mean, there's no mass adoption, there's no regulations, they're all still gearing up for it, and they're still afraid of it. So as long as they're afraid of it, they're going to bash it and trash it, and of course try to regulate it all the way down. I mean, come on, this is just reality. I know everybody's got this hopium of, oh, parabolas, parabolas, whatever. Sorry, bro. And there's still no real infrastructure in place. Because the altcoins are what is going to build the infrastructure, is going to build the ecosystems, build the connections between blockchains to have blockchains communicate and transact. It's going to have devices communicate and transact. So that all has to happen and come into a place to build the infrastructure for blockchain to function before there's a true bull run and a true bull season. Everybody is still just banking on Bitcoin. Yeah, it'll be the digital gold standard, but again, until the infrastructure is in place and until mass adoption hits, it's not going to happen. So I don't foresee new highs anytime soon. Now my bias will change, of course, once we test the 7,500 range, and then we reassess. But right now, looking at MACD and the RSI and understanding the relationship of MACD to price action and how MACD resets itself, I really kind of see this scenario playing out, and we do test. Well, I don't want to say that we will, but it's not looking good. Still money to be made. We're not going anywhere, guys. So even if this does play out over the next 2 years, we will play every single wave that we possibly can to build our accounts. So when the next bull run does hit, we're probably already sitting on, a couple $1 million or something, and we just ride this puppy up and we retire. So either way, we're gonna play all the waves, bullish or bear. It don't matter. We're in it to make money. Okay, well, that's all I got, guys. If you guys got any questions, give me a shout, give me a holler. But this is what I'm seeing right now for alts and for Bitcoin. So we technically did not break this trend line. On the lower time frame, though, we did. I think everybody was kind of looking here, and this was one of the trend lines that I had posted too. for that short-term pop that we got. Something like that, or no, it was like this. Yeah, that's what it was. So we pretty well hit that target dead on the head, because I think we were calling for 1000, 170 something, if you guys remember from the calls. So we hit that dead on the head, and hopefully everybody got out earlier when I posted that one chart. Let me see, this one here. So when I noted that this was failing to break here above the 20-day moving average, that was a telltale signal right there that this was not looking pretty. And hopefully, I know everybody has jobs and whatnot, so hopefully everybody saw this enough in time and got out of their longs, or went to tether, or you know, whatever, opened up shorts. Whatever you have to do to protect your funds, protect your portfolio, and make profit. So it's a good catch, just in time too. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for me, man. I'm gonna, hop off here and go take a shower and play with my animals and stuff. So I'll post these alt charts, and then we'll reassess what's going to happen with Bitcoin tomorrow morning. Later.